Welcome back to another Sunday Swings, and let's get right into the markets. Euro JPY, the first pair. On the weekly, we are pretty much at the highest point it's ever been. I believe, yes. That's usual for the JPY pairs. Last week we didn't have a wick. Another pair that did not have a wick, actually for 2 weeks in a row, which I've never seen before, especially on the weekly chart, is GBP CHF, interestingly. Alright, the weekly, I think we could have wick fill on the weekly to this level. I mean, we are at the highest point it's ever been, so you might not want to trade it any higher, but if you think about it, if it's continuing to go higher and higher and higher, then you should probably just go with the trend. On the daily, we have this area of accumulation, and after this kind of accumulation, you often get a pretty big, pretty strong move. On the daily, it's actually super clean. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, a lot of wicks, 5 points, 5 times this area of interest has been hit, and we broke above, and now we want to take this to the upside. On the 4 hour we are obviously bearish, and this is not going to change. I guess even on the daily we are bearish, so the only time frame in our favor is the weekly. But I just think this could create a right shoulder and then sometime later have the move to the downside. So it's definitely high risk, but I think it looks good. You could wait to take it to the downside, something like, I guess, this is also a fair trade to the downside. Yeah, but on the lower time frames it doesn't look too great for shorts. So I'm mainly interested in buying this pair. Yeah. Euro GBP. Euro GBP, we have this area of interest, pretty strong area of interest, and I just think this could break out, have a retest, and then could have a beautiful move to the downside. We had this pair last week already, Euro GBP and GBP CHF. And back then GBP CHF looked better, but now I think that Euro GBP, what the fuck am I saying? Last week GBP CHF was looking better at this area right here, but now Euro GBP looks better. NZD CAD, high risk trade, daily we are super high, super extended. On the weekly we are basically what you would call catching a falling knife if it went down. I don't know if there's like some cool phrase for the opposite side. On the 4 hour we have a pretty clean head and shoulders if it breaks below this area of interest, and this is basically the trade. It's a high risk, lower time frame trade. Yeah. AUD CAD, I think is, yeah, AUD CAD is pretty similar. I think NZD CAD looks cleaner with this area of interest, but AUD CAD is already below this area of interest, but I think if it breaks below this smaller area of interest, then you could enter. CAD JPY, also 3 weeks of dojis accumulating there. We have this area of interest. I think if we have a shift of structure on the 4 hour right here, we can take it to the downside, but it's not the cleanest. I have other pairs that I like more, and if it doesn't create super clean structure, then I'm not going to take it, but I do like the general idea of this trade. GBP JPY, I feel like some of these JPY pairs I had for already 2 months on my watch list, just waiting for anything. So we have this kind of head and shoulders accumulating here. No wick actually. We have this strong area of interest. We need a clean break below. A strong bearish candle, not any of these wicks. A strong, clean break below, then have a retest and then take the move to the downside. Otherwise, I will not be interested. GBP CHF, as I already said, we were interested in this last week. I think it's still a possible trade. If this comes back up as a retest, we can still take it to the downside. But I would be cautious. I think EURGBP looks better. And GBP CHF obviously has a inverse cross-pair correlations to EURGBP. So if GBP has a big move, then only one of these pairs is going to have the move we want, and I would put my chips on EURGBP. I just think it looks cleaner. USD-JPY, we have this area of interest, not the strongest. 1, 2, yeah. I think you could get some third point in here. On the 4 hour chart, we have some more hits on the area of interest. The daily EMA, also no wick to the upside. I just think if we get a retest, a retracement to this area of interest, and they have the daily wick, the daily EMA, we can create a wick fill to the downside to this EMA. I do think that's possible. However, we would need some shift of structure on the 4 hour, because if we get up here again, then the 4 hour will have shifted. It actually has already shifted bullish. So we want the 4 hour to shift bearish once we're here. And then last pair, Euro USD. We are above this area of interest. And now it already had a strong retracement. Have some structure. This could maybe take a week or another. So maybe not this week, but the week after. On the weekly, also no wick, I believe. Yeah, no wick. I think this could also be a wick fill. We are, again, not at the highest. Okay. Yeah, okay. Never mind. But for a long time we have, since when? We weren't this high since September 21. So retest, shift of structure, the time frames, and then take the trade to the upside. And that's already it. My favorite pair is, I think, UGP. I just like this structure, it's pretty clean. But there are definitely some good opportunities, except apart from UGP. A lot of high risk counter trend trades, but also some just solid trades. Yeah, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you guys next week.